Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is HD and I'm coming back at you guys with game number 3, the final game between Complexity's Minigun and Empire's Happy. Terran versus Protoss once again. We've already had a... Well, the first game, let's just say, was pretty balls out insane. I mean, Happy just decided to pull all of his SCVs off the line and crush Minigun. The second game was certainly a little bit of a long macro one. We had a lot of nukes being fired off from Happy, and I think Happy was overall playing the better game. But Minigun was able to catch a lucky break when the nuke... the nuclear missiles decided to fall on their masters instead and kill all the ghosts in the middle of the field, and I think that was certainly the turning point there for Minigun. So Minigun was able to take that game away with a nice push through the middle of Shakuras Plateau, and here we are. This is the third and final game on Terminus. Once again, I want to reiterate these games. I don't know if they're from a tournament or if they are from Battle.net. All I know is these were some really highly rated replays, and obviously I want to be able to bring you guys the most highly rated replays of the week. Of course, as you guys all know, I am in MLG and of course Atlantic City right now. I've been out for a couple of weeks, flying out and about and doing my errands and following MLG. This is like a back-to-back-to-back week of StarCraft, I swear. We've got BlizzCon coming up, so just to recap, the weekend of the 6th through the 9th, I'm at Atlantic City, and then the week after that, I'm at Orlando, Florida, and then the week after that, I'm in Anaheim for BlizzCon. So IPL, MLG, BlizzCon. This is gonna be the craziest month ever, and I say gonna be crazy because, as you guys all know, I'm pre-recording these the day before I hop on my airplane. I'm going on the airplane tomorrow, actually, just to make sure I have content for you guys while I'm gone. I don't want to just, you know, leave you guys hanging or anything like that. So, yeah, we are here. This is game 3. This is Happy, the Terran player, the yellow position on the bottom. He is so far been playing a very intelligent game of StarCraft 2. I really like his Terran style. I really think that he has the decision making, very smart decision making. That's what really defines him as a player, I think. And so far, nothing but impressing from him, except for, I guess, the nuke on his own ghost. But I mean, it's gonna happen, you know. You a million times, if you do that a million times and you're cool 900,999 times, that one time you mess up, it's a fluke, it's a blunder, okay, whatever. And it kind of made for an interesting nuke anyways, so we'll have to see what Minigun's gonna do. He is at the top position. We have cross spawn, so highly likely we'll have a macro game once again, I would say, with Happy this time not having his gas stolen for the first time, and I think that may be because the probe hasn't quite made its way down yet. This is such a big map, and you know what? This probe is not going to make its way into the main. Those two Marines will most likely stutter step micro that probe, and yes, that probe isn't going to even try. So Happy isn't going to have to deal with the gas being stolen here. He can go into a very quick starport if he wants to again, and he's done that first game and second game without really any response from Minigun, and he's made it work very well. So it would not surprise me to see that starport get slapped down again. Happy also trying to be as annoying as possible with this SCV. I like the juke right there. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Minigun juking the probe around the SCV. So right now, Happy doesn't actually know that there's a Nexus coming up. He didn't even see the probe go down the ramp, I don't think. So really doesn't have a clue as to whether or not, you know, Minigun's expanding or if Minigun's trying to foregate him. Really not an idea at all. And right now, Happy is not going for starport, guys. So the time he doesn't get his gas stolen, he decides to go into a marine heavy build. Not marine heavy build, a mineral heavy build with Hellions. So totally switching things up here. And I would, if I was Minigun right now, I would think to myself, most likely there's going to be a Banshee here. He's opened Banshees game 1 and game 2. Both games I stole the gas. Game 3 here, I'm not stealing the gas. So he's even more assuredly going to go for Banshee, but that's not the case. And as you guys can see, Minigun going for a very quick robotics facility here. There's a Robo Bay. He's going to have observers on the field, but unfortunately for him, there's actually Hellions that are running across the map right now, and nothing that comes out of the robotics facility except for a Colossus is very good against Hellions. So these Hellions could do some work here. Looks like a force field, though, keeps him at bay. Man, Minigun is lucky he built that sentry. Otherwise, those Hellions would have made their way into the main, and a lot of probes could have gone down. So Happy, trying to get right back in there again, does not. He is not successful in barreling his way up that ramp. And Minigun in this game, pretty good. Pretty good defense there with that sentry. It's very, very well timed. And it looks like the Hellion's going to go for another run by. Not enough energy for a force field. 3 Hellions make their way in. 2 Hellions only surviving that brutal pass through. And it looks like the 2 Hellions may get a couple of probe kills. It's going to be pretty minimal. Just 1 or 2 probes going down. So Minigun's going to take that with a grain of salt. Not bad at all, but if you look at things from the unit supply perspective, Minigun's certainly ahead right now after deflecting those 4 Hellions. Of course, he did open up with a very quick Nexus. He's going to have extra Chrono Boost, he's going to have extra probes, he's going to have more economy and more gas. And at this moment, Happy's going to have to play some catch-up. I don't see a command center. There's a CC. Very late, though, compared to Minigun. And, oh my god, another... Is there a Banshee on the map? Did he get that star? All right, so he doesn't have a Banshee on the map. He has a starport though with Tech Lab once again, but he's making a Raven. So, you know, Happy's playstyle, man, really unconventional. I feel like it's very unpredictable, and that's what makes him such a powerful player. Now, this Observer is going to make its way into the main, and once that thing gets in, a lot of doubt is going to be erased here, and Minigun's going to feel much more comfortable as to what his opponent's doing. Good pull of there on the Observer. A lot of players who are aware will notice that there's an Observer flying around the field by that little blur, and Minigun didn't want to get comsatted there, so he's flying around being very careful. Raven has made its way out now, so that will make the Observer useless. And oh, it looks like that Observer is going to barely make it out of there. So not bad at all. A couple of Zealots warping in for Minigun. Minigun prepared here for the drop, it looks like. He's going right into Colossus again. The quick Colossus tech off of 3 Gate once again for him this game. And remember, last time he did this on the first map, he got all in on Icy Cup Test Bug by a bunch of SCVs. You know, once again, I reiterate, if you go for that quick Colossus without a major gateway backbone, Happy is a type of Terran player that will capitalize on you. And if Minigun goes out again to that same play, man, that's just going to be brutal. But that Observer is making its way around the side right now. It looks like it is going to go into the main. Meanwhile, though, Happy possibly going to go for a double drop, loads up 2 medevacs. They are both taking their own separate routes here, and Happy is going to gear up for a double medevac drop. Unfortunately for him, and this is where the Raven really comes into play, unfortunately for Minigun, he did not see those medevacs moving out. He would have if there wasn't a Raven, and that's another thing that makes the Raven so useful. This double medevac drop is going to fall on completely deaf ears. And we do have an auto turret here that's actually contesting for the Xel'Naga Tower. You don't see that every day. But here comes the medevac drop. Going to unload the first Marines into the main here. Not going to do it at the same time. Going to unload the other pack outside the third here. He could actually snipe off the Nexus. He may go for the support bait. Is he gonna stim? I don't even know if he has stim, actually. Yeah, he does have stim, so he is gonna go right into the natural rather than going for the Nexus. Does not manage to kill off that support bay, and he's led those Marines outside into outer space for now. But meanwhile, the Marines have engaged that Nexus. They are stimmed, and they force the cancel on the Nexus. Once again, Happy with very good play. Minigun just has to stretch himself so thin to deal with the constant drop harass here. And once again, this is a map where, you know, dropships, Banshees, they all work very well. And oh my god, here comes more Marines dropping right into the main, but a Colossus is there. And that will repel those Marines. But once again, man, as one drop occurs on one side of the map, another drop occurs on the other side. And of course, this is all taxing the Minigun's APM. I like how Happy was not greedy there, though. He could have kept all those Marines and the medevac and stim to take out the Nexus. But to take out a Nexus, to cancel it, I don't think it was worth the medevac and the Marines. So Happy realizing that, you know, there's a risk versus reward there, and at that time, probably better to pull out and save his Marines for a rainy day. Now, that Protoss gateway ball is still looking pretty thin, guys. That's precariously thin, if you ask me. Only a couple Colossus on the field once again. And the third Nexus is on the way up. Remember, this is about the time that Happy decided to push out. When he saw that third Nexus coming up, he was like, time to go gung-ho. Suit up, guys, we're rolling out. So, I don't know if he's going to do it again. I'd be really surprised if he did, considering this map is huge, too. The one thing he does have going for him, though, he's got great coverage on the Xel'Naga Tower. It's just a single Observer in the middle of the map right now. That's the only detection that Minigun really has. It's pretty blind for a Protoss player at this moment in the game. Third Colossus now joining the field for Minigun. So the longer Minigun stays like this, the stronger he gets. He wants to get a very large Colossus count. His worker count is actually miles ahead of Minigun, 70 over 47. That's a little strange. I'm surprised Happy hasn't been SCVing up. Interesting. He's producing a lot of units though on the ground out of his production facilities. Once again, dropping into the third, trying to be a little annoying, but doesn't really get anything off. And Minigun looking really good, guys. The longer this goes, Minigun is poised to take this series. I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh, here comes Happy moving out. I don't think he's gonna pull SCVs. This is just gonna be a timing push. And oh my God, he is pulling SCVs. Happy's doing it again. I can't believe this. He's pulling almost all of his SCVs out of the natural, almost all the SCVs out of the main. And I guess this kind of makes sense. He doesn't have that many SCVs because he's planning to fight with them anyways. So if you're going to fight with them, you might as well leave your supply open for real units. He's pushing out across the middle of the field. Is Minigun prepared for this? His Storm isn't ready yet. Storm would have been the X factor in this battle, but Storm will not be ready in time. He's trying to desperately chrono boost the Storm out, but it's not going to be in time. He might as well just make these into Archons, I feel. And here comes the SCVs. They are getting lasered down by the Colossus, but that doesn't really matter. They're just taking the hits for the Vikings, so the Vikings can pick off all the Colossi, and they do just that. The M&M here all stemmed up behind, and it looks like Minigun is going to fall to the next level of the push. Suit Up Boys were rolling out, and Minigun types a triple G because 2 Gs wasn't enough. Wow. Happy just with a balls out insane maneuver, and it works 2 times in a row. That's incredible. And I think I have me a new favorite Terran player. That was amazing by Happy, man. That was just... If you think about it, you're in a game of StarCraft 2, you're playing for money or you're playing for stakes or something, you know, that idea flashes through your head. What if I pull all my SCVs right now? Can I win? I'm sure everyone has thought about that, but how many players actually go to the next step and do it? Because think of how risky that is. If it fails in any way, shape, or form, you're done. You're gonna lose the game. But Happy made it work, and my hat's off to him, man. That was an incredible best of 3 Terran versus Protoss series. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And this is going to be HD signing out. I'm going to cast a couple more games before I hop on my airplane flight. So stay tuned, guys. More videos will be coming out. HD signing out.